Well, hello everyone, and it's finally time for me to talk about Pokemon Journeys episode 65 in Japanese, Ash vs. Iris, Battle of Dragons, roughly translated. Now, some of you have been following for the past decade or so might know this, but some of my new viewers, it may come as a shock that I'm something of a fan of the fifth generation Pokemon. Given how it's one of the first things that I really covered on this channel and all, and definitely have been coming back to. So I guess you might say that in my own way, been waiting for this battle for 10 years here. So and it definitely did not disappoint. As it shows Ash getting a letter from his old friend Iris to come challenge her at the gym Opelucid City, where we have a meeting of two champions, and given her new outfit, she has indeed not only effectively taken and is about to take up Drayden's mantle as gym leader. She has, much like in the sequel games, become the champion of Unova, and it suits her quite well. Also, like the whole Brett joke of Go bonking her on the head with a Pokeball because he thinks she's a Pokemon. Insert Game Freak does not forget joke here. And I gotta say, the battle between the Dragonite is quite amusing between the Empath and the Empathetic one of Ash's, as well as the Rageaholic one of Iris's. And even though they do have that's such a kid line briefly, it's highly clear that these are not the same people we've encountered before. Or I definitely really like how they approach this. Like, shows how far things have come in the past 10 years. So yeah, definitely. While Iris initially has upper hand with her Dragonite, as it turns out, how that she's not only impressed by Ash's Dracovish, we also show how OP the Fossil Fusion is when it basically one-shots her Dragonite with Ice Fang. And it also turns out she managed to train her Exu into a Haxorus, and quite impressive one at that. And although Ash's Dragonite does take some licks, much like one of those old watches, just keeps on ticking. Especially after he uses Dragon Dance, power it up, and through both the sheer will and Iris's feelings, so she can sense the emotion of dragons. And Ash wins the battle that's been about a decade in the making by having his dragon in the Draco Meteor and taking down Haxorus, which definitely is a nice battle between two champions, which also gets Ash into the Ultra Cup, setting the stage for his battle with B, and also I'm not sure who the other three shadows are in the end slate, but also given how there's going to be more Sinnoh games coming out on Switch, naturally Volkner's in the Ultra Cup as well. I'd recognize that silhouette and that was looks right anywhere. So yeah. So this was quite the spectacular battle of sorts with Ash and Iris, and it definitely was well worth the wait. And also, one thing I've noticed is I just found out about apparently Drayden's actor is in Japan is Terasoma Masaki, who on top of also voicing Drayden, he's also voiced a Looker as well as Caribou in One Piece. He's Jubei in Blaze with Ultra Memory. And also really seems to like being on Kamen Rider as well. So he has gotten quite around, and he's also, interestingly enough, Azalus in Final Fantasy 12. So I definitely am glad to see him return as well. I really don't know about being quote unquote cagey. If anything, this has to be one of the most I've seen, and I think they also plan to see the hate about Silent as well. I mean, I was planning on doing a video like this before this episode aired, but now I think it might be even better given how with Gary's return as well, how it being set up, as well as the turn of Ash Infernape. It's not the only video because I was planning to do one yesterday before I realized, hey, I actually might have a lot more to say about Project Mew than I originally intended, and it's not the only such matter I'm really covering. And, and because even for every bit of animation I like this, there's also pieces that I do not care for as much. Not necessarily a bad one, but it's let's just say that if the animation is this, is basically almost like selling a Studio Trigger, her, then there also must be a Hanna-Barbera. So that'll be all for now. I look forward to seeing what other characters and destinations will return in this series. So maybe especially with the Ultra Cup now in effect, and I don't know about 90%. Again, it's no more like sometimes I want to play a game that came out in the DS era. Sometimes I want to play on my Switch. Sometimes I want to play my 3DS installments. And this structure actually suits that quite well. So, and well, anyway, that's it. Take care, everyone.